Hi, I'm Michaela,
Hi, I'm Sammi.
and today we're talking about recovering from an eating disorder.
Am I? I don't know.
We're going to be talking about eating disorders today, so if you're finding it hard to cope, check the support in the description. So an eating disorder is an unhealthy relationship with food, but it's diagnosed by a doctor. Can you tell us a bit about how your recovery started?
I was going through it for quite a while and I just got to a point where I didn't want to hurt myself anymore. The first thing I did was I decided to talk to my boyfriend about it because I knew he'd be really understanding about it. And I just started talking and explaining what I had been kind of going through and how I felt and everything, that I was scared to share it with him and scared to talk to anyone about it. I think he was kind of surprised, but there was nothing negative from telling him. Like, all he wanted to do was, you know, help and for me to get help. He kind of helped me book in with a therapist, one who specialises in eating disorders. And recovery can be different for everyone, so it might be that you reach out yourself for help, or it might be more like my case where someone helped me to get help.
And what advice would you give for someone that's thinking about opening up?
I think it's the most important step to take because it's such a big and scary thing to be dealing with yourself. Make sure you speak to someone who you feel comfortable with and who has your best interests at heart as well. And that could be in person, or it could be even on a text, or you could call someone.
And what if you don't feel able to open up to the people in your life just yet? What can you do?
It could be a good idea to call and talk to a Childline counsellor because they're trained to listen, understand and help, and then they can get you to that point where you can speak to someone that you do know.
So can you share what helped in your recovery process?
One of the first things I did was to keep a food diary. At first I didn't like the idea, but really quickly after starting to do it, I noticed it helping a lot. And it made me feel proud of myself quite quickly. Another thing that is good to do is obviously is talking to a GP or a therapist. It's someone to talk to if you've got what you think might be like silly questions or silly thoughts that you're having that, you know, you feel like no one else would understand, and all they're there to do is listen to that without judgment and help you. Also, what I definitely did is I became really conscious of what was making me feel negative about myself and my body. For me, it was things like models, you know, and bodies that I was trying to aspire to, which wasn't realistic. I'd unfollow those people on social media, and I cut down watching certain things on TV. And I switched that as well to following more body positivity, social media accounts, people that had a mindset that I wanted to eventually have.
So what about if you're worried about falling back into old behaviours or bad habits?
It's so amazing to be recovering and getting better, but obviously sometimes things are, you know, up and down a little bit. And if you're worried about slipping back into any old habits, it can really help to reach out to those people who, you know, you trust. Or if you're worried that this one thing might be like a bad habit of yours, you can go to them and be like, look, I'm thinking this, or I'm doing this. Do you think that's worrying? Because that helps me as well.
And what would you say to other people that are going through what you've been through?
I would say, firstly, well done for getting to the point where you are recovering and you want to be recovering. It's amazing. For me at the beginning, I really was like, how am I ever gonna get to that point of not thinking these thoughts? And you do. And at first I really didn't think I would get there, but you do. So I think knowing that, you know, there is an open door and you can go through it, you know, you won't always be stuck in this place. So day by day things will get better and better.
And I think it's important to remember that you're not alone in this process, and that there are people out there that can support you, whether that be Childline or trained therapists. And it's okay if they're not feeling ready to talk right now. There will be a time where they will get that confidence to speak to someone and get that support. Thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your experiences about your recovery.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
See you next time. Bye.